Hi everybody, it's Mr. D at In the Middle with Mr. D1 at blogspot.com with some teaching tips for lesson 9, day 1. This is the written warm-up of that day here, and I just want to make sure that you see some pitfalls that you can help the kids avoid. Let me make sure I got you in the right spot here. So let's look at the D, the F, the S, and the T, making sure that they see that you've given something other than dough. Secondly, you want to make sure that they count every single line and every single space as they tell the answer or try to determine the answer. I always like to tell them this as they are beginning the work so that they can be less likely to make a mistake. We want as much success right off the bat as possible. We want them using their brains. And we want to make sure that we help them avoid things like this. That is sol. They're going to go sol, la, ti. They'll go up when they should go down. That's very common. So I always say make sure you go in the correct direction. You know, if the note is underneath, you have to make sure and say the solfege backwards. If it's above, you say it forwards. I mean, these are really important points to bring out. And I also point out that when it's far apart, as it is here, you're more likely to make errors because you might not count a line or not count a space. These are things that will help you down the line. And then, as the rhythm exercise, today is really the first day that I say to them, I kind of check their knowledge, like, do you know what these notes are? But before they perform it, I remind them the importance of the accents, because maybe they've forgotten. I ask them to think about how to count it, so they definitely check that time signature. And then I always have them go, I make sure they're revving their voices. Ta, I make sure, and I have them perform that back to me before they do the example, so that they recognize that it's only 3 beats long. And I'll ask, how many beats did we use? Do you know the name of this note? Just to see, so that they start to think. And some do, some don't, and year to year it varies. It depends on their education in their elementary school. Then you've got the half notes that do exactly the same thing. Before they perform, I have them do an example and revving the voice. I emphasize the revving. And then, of course, number 3 is going to be very challenging. This sh and these two sh, sh. They're going to call this a whole rest if you ask somebody in the class. But these, I want you to start to ask the questions before you perform. Just ask the questions, and then you'll be preparing them for tomorrow. And then in your sight singing example, the most important and most difficult task for you is to help them find, that this is sol and this is do here, the first pitch. They might struggle with getting that, because they might call it sol, fa, mi, because they won't count every line in space. The smaller these examples are, so small that they can sometimes miss it more. They're more readily going to miss it. So just make sure you get that. And then, of course, re-emphasize the importance of gentle accenting, and that should do it. All right. Hope it's working for you. Have a great day.